All right, welcome back to Big E and HM Review Things. We have our permanent panelist, Rob, with us. Elvin didn't really want to do this segment, but we are comparing, I guess, the initial comparison between The Last of Us, the new HBO Max show, and The Walking Dead. You know, this is a 11-season show, but we thought it'd be kind of fun to talk about them. Both Rob and I watched the first 4 episodes of The Last of Us, and we finished the first season of The Walking Dead. And obviously, a lot of big Walking Dead fans out there. But Rob, what do you think? I mean, are you a fan? First of all, are you a fan of zombie genre?
Well, here's the thing. I do like zombie movies. I mean, Shaun of the Dead was pretty funny.
Yeah.
But Resident Evil, the first one was good, but then the rest of them were just downhill.
Yeah.
And I didn't even bother with the Netflix show, right? But in terms of like The Last of Us, I heard that the video game was a lot of fun. Like it was one of the best video games ever, right? In terms of like play as well as story. So, you know, I came into this with generally low expectations because, come on, let's be honest. What video game adaptation to a movie is generally good, right? Like, can you think of one?
Super Mario Brothers.
Street Fighter. Actually, no, not Ninja Turtles, because that was a toy.
That was a toy.
But
Tomb Raider.
Tomb Raider. Anyhow, but like, yeah. So you know, in terms of like the first 4 episodes, wow, I was blown away to the point that I went onto YouTube to watch the entire walkthrough of The Last of Us video game.
Oh my goodness, how many videos?
Because that was how interested I was in this genre and this story in particular. So it allowed me to at least contrast what HBO is trying to do and what was in the movie.
Well, it's interesting. It's interesting because the zombie genre is basically the same premise every single time, but for some reason it has enough staying power. There's this show, there's The Last of Us. I watched one called The Kingdom. It's a Korean zombie period piece, and it was excellent actually. So I'm not even a fan of zombie genre. I mean, I've watched some of the movies, but and some of the TV shows, but definitely it is not my favorite genre. The only thing I like about the genre is that it keeps it simple. Everybody's trying to survive. They're trying to find a place of safe haven, and they're trying to find a cure, right? And people die along the way. So it's simple. You don't have to really think about it a lot. In fact, sometimes you could be distracted and you know exactly what's happening. But I guess the question is, having watched enough of both now, are there differences, and what are the main differences? And do you predict The Last of Us is going to be as good or better than The Walking Dead?
Well, I mean, one of the things I tried to look for in zombie movies, and I just want to kind of share this with everyone, is like how the setting, like why do the cars end up the way they are? Why are some buildings destroyed? Like, I wonder whether, you know, the writers actually thought about what an apocalypse would look like, or did they simply be like, okay, I just need something grim and we'll just make it look grim? Like, did they really think about, you know, a plane potentially crashing and causing this accident? So when I watched The Walking Dead, which was really good, you know, I noticed that the pieces felt like, they were just kind of placed there because, this seemed like a good set piece to have for a scene.
Right.
Whereas like in The Last of Us, they actually did an explanation as to, okay, why are all the cars like, you know, pushed to the side?
Right.
It's because, you know, there was a truck that cleared it. Like there's an actual explanation.
Yeah, that's a great point, Rob. I did think of that because in the story of The Walking Dead, he wakes up after 4 or 5 week coma, and suddenly the world looks like an apocalyptic nightmare. But The Last of Us, the world building is better because it takes place over 20 years, right? He's a young man or younger man, 35 they actually say, or something like 36, and then by the time The Last of Us starts, he's 50 something. And it's like they've been going through the zombie war for 20 years, and everybody has certain certain characteristics and certain viewpoints. But yeah, that's a great point. Yeah.
So, but like, you know, just to kind of keep this short, Last of Us, you know, it's being adapted, so they already had material to work on and potentially either, you know, deviate or improve. Yeah. But the thing is, with The Walking Dead, I'll say that, you know, the first season I actually did enjoy it. I mean, it, you know, kept me hooked enough to binge it till like 3 a.m. But like it was good, and I'm looking forward to the second, third, fourth, fifth seasons.
I would say another thing besides world building is the pace of it. The Last of Us are it's almost like little smaller stories within a bigger story. And if you watch the last 2 episodes, like especially the last one, nothing really truly they weren't even fighting any zombies. And then the third episode is really this self-contained little story about a couple. So The Walking Dead seems like the pace is faster in the sense of they're always being attacked by zombies. There's zombies everywhere. They got to run and they got to hide and shoot the zombies. So I think that's another thing I noticed that was different.
Yeah. So when you if you're a fan of The Walking Dead, I encourage you to watch The Last of Us. I think there's enough differences for you to watch it in a different lens rather than it just being another zombie movie, right?
What about the cast? Do you see like what do you like certain things about The Last of Us? 'Cause I think The Last of Us is really a story about 2 people.
Yeah. No, I would say in terms of casting and even just character development, The Last of Us probably has the edge. I can't even remember all the names of the characters from The Walking Dead because there were just so many that were introduced. Right. I mean, Rick Grimes was the sheriff, so you're essentially following his story, and then Shane was his partner.
Yes,
and then you have everybody else. Oh,
his
wife. Of course, Steve Yeun. Like I did
Yeun,
recognize Steve Yeun. Wow, he looks so young.
He is. He was so like 19 or something, right?
But he was actually 27.
Oh, okay. Well,
but he looked really young. Anyways, shout out to you, Steve Yeun. So, but yeah, again, in terms of characters, I mean, Pedro Pascal, the Mandalorian. Like when you see him, you're like, yeah, he's gonna do some damage.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I know we're comparing, but the Walking Dead really could be like the foundation of why people like zombie stories. I mean, it ended, and now the Walking, the Last of Us almost taken over for those who are. It's sort of like Game of Thrones, and then suddenly you have House of the Dragon, and people are like they're hungering for that type of show. So good for them. I really, I mean, again, I'm not a big fan of zombie, but I've actually enjoyed both those series. Something about that genre I don't really love, but because it's a simple story that you can really tell a lot of stories within that world that kind of keeps it interesting for me.
And also the father-daughter kind of relationship. Both of us have daughters, so that definitely resonates with us too.
Yeah, my wife, who hates violent zombie things, has been watching both with me, so that tells me something. Okay. I don't know, Rob. I mean, it's just a fun comparison. At the end, do you think The Last of Us is going to be as critically acclaimed and beloved as The Walking Dead?
Well, I mean, it's from the same writers of Chernobyl, I think. Like one of the writers. And the production of HBO. I think this will definitely be recognized as, some of the top TV shows out there. Yes, I do believe so.
Yeah, it's getting rave reviews. So interesting. Well, I think that's it. Anything else to talk about?
No.
Good.
That's fine.
Well, anyways, if you've been watching The Last of Us, let us know what you think. If you've watched all 11 seasons of The Walking Dead, let us know what you think as well. Is it worth watching? Some people say it's worth watching up to season 5. Some people say, no, you got to get up to all 11. I don't know. I think I'm going to continue watching, although I know the seasons get longer and longer and longer. But we're watching both. Let us know. And so until next time, keep watching things, keep reviewing things, keep enjoying things.
Yeah. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And you know what? Comment what your favorite zombie apocalyptic movie or show you enjoy. So, yes, until then.
We are also on various podcast platforms like Spotify and Apple, so you can find the link below. So if you want to drive your car and listen, please do so.